Good, very good morning. And for a little more of this thing, I think I'm probably going to be doing arena. Yeah, I'm going to max out the arena first. No particular reason, I just kind of like doing the arena as high as it can go, as soon as it can go. The biggest threat from Gydas is the missiles. His laser, while it does a lot, and that accuracy is just... well, pretty sure you could you can get better accuracy by just throwing a rock. I don't know. Having done a run with those arms before, they're really frustrating to use. But, yeah, his build's fun to mess around with, though. Most of the time I just end up using the missiles, though. Thankfully, he's pretty light, easy to overheat, so you can just eat the missiles and just shoot them down. That's pretty much going to be the strategy for most of the lightweights. The heavyweights that I'm worried about. Yeah, first time through, I actually ended up not even doing the arena. Not even... I think I got stuck on Nocturne, and then I got stuck on Flying Fix. I've actually... Well, since then I've found a few more cheesable methods for those. I'm still sure can't even words. I'm sure some of them will still cause an issue. Especially, base, Kaiser. But, yeah, they're all cheesable in their own ways. Thing's a piece of garbage, but you know what? It still works. It's still got things. A little bit awkward on the controls today because I, over the weekend, was hearing a lot of good things about Formula Front, which I never really gave a fair shake, to be fair. And, I'll give it another go, since apparently my original save is who knows where. I think I probably deleted it, assuming I would never go back. But yeah, first time through I played it manual, and just got all frustrated because, well, some of the utter BS that was happening. I think I got, like, up to rank 25 or something first time around, but yeah, gave it another go, and actually been having a lot of fun with it. Mostly using the AI. In some cases, sorry, just arm's itchy. In some cases, ended up switching to manual because the AI couldn't seem to figure out how to do some of the stuff that I wanted it to. Namely, I have one build that I've posted before, the murder.exe. It's just basically a large missile spammer. So it's like a multi-missile with a micro-missile extensions and the quad nuke arms. This is the first heavyweight that's going to be causing an issue. So I can't really strafe around for too long because I already end up going into the red here. And if I just keep shooting them, in his case it'll be fine. But I'll just run out of ammo faster than anything else. Later on that'll be an issue. But yeah, so going back to what I was saying though. So and I had this setup all done, and so basically the way I did my roster, you get your 5 guys there that you pick from, and you can only basically each of the things that are going on in your garage there, you can only use one. So each of your parts can only go on one of them, with exception to optionals. I'm not sure if that applies to cores, but I think so too. Yeah, no, it does apply to cores. So yeah, anyhow, so I have this thing all set up that it's supposed to just go and pretty much use the multi-missiles to wear somebody down and then just finish off the quad nukes. Originally it was the other way around when I was using it in Silent Line, that it was just quad nukes to do all the damage and then finish off with the... I actually used Tried missiles on the original one. But the way it worked in LR was, well, it was better off to break the legs first, so I had micro missiles and the 9-shot micro missiles. So just micro missiles all over. I think this thing shoots like 13 missiles at once, but most times they end up hitting in the legs. So sometimes they'll hit the arms, sometimes they'll damage the arms, but mostly they end up hitting the legs. So in LR, as long as they were, like, even crippled, not even broken, it was enough to just go and break out the quad nukes at that point, and then just utterly dismantle them. And, yeah, it's... like, as far as one-shot builds go, that one was my favorite. It's just so friggin' satisfying. So... anyhow, I remade this, and I had no idea that secondary fire wasn't a thing. For one, so it can only shoot 2, it can't shoot 4. And then, aside from that, like, apparently I hadn't given it enough thought for, well, actually, no, I maxed out the thing for energy conservation, but, the guy that it was fighting against had a bunch of really high heat weapons, and apparently in that one, energy weapons actually cause, like, just plain laser rifles have recoil, or not recoil, but knockback to them. So, like, he was getting hit with a laser and a grenade, and would just stand there and overheat and friggin' croak. So, I don't know why he had such an easy time evading everything else, but then in that case, he just lunged right into this guy's shots. Like, every single time. I ran it 5 or 6 times. It's like, he just flies straight into every grenade, every laser. What the hell's wrong with you? Kind of a thing. So finally I just ended up doing that one manually. But the AI has been surprisingly competent. And actually the system has been surprisingly simple for setting it up. Especially compared to the weird training thing of Silent Line and the weird you need a programming degree crap of VD. They really need it. You know, I hope the next one they have somebody to actually look over the moniker and make sure that it isn't anything to do with a friggin' sexual disease. So, might be something to bear in mind. Alright, so this guy's shoulders... well, I guess more his back weapons. That's one of the things that's going to be a problem throughout the run. Pretty certain. Oh, I can already do this guy. That sounds wrong. Do arena for him. I like the reservoir map, but gonna bounce around all over the place. I'd rather not. Yeah, anything that causes instant overheat is gonna be a problem. Like, I'm pretty sure for some of them, especially anything to do with weapon arms, like anything that doesn't have infinite ammo of any kind, I'm probably just going to purge all of the weapons and everything. I need to remember how to purge the radar. Or how to do that at all. I'll test it out at the end of this match, because no. I thought that might be the command, but it isn't. Just did the rest of the purge command plus OB. Can't actually purge your OB, so I thought that might be it. Oh, whatever, I'll look it up. But yeah, no, because of the crappy energy situation, it will, some of them that are constant fire, like Barchetta, for example, aren't really going to be viable with rifle and missiles in hand, so I'm just going to throw them to the ground, dodge all of his shots, and then just blade him. Seems like the best way to go about it. I feel like in this case it's fine. Not constantly on me. Come on. There we go, he's over here already. Yeah, originally I was considering to use optional parts, was asking on the Discord if if anyone had tried this with or without him or whatever else, and well, then I was told why not just do it. That you can't use any optional parts except for the ones that you just basically might find lying around. Which, to my knowledge, there's only one which would be utterly useless, so I'll just take that as a no optional part. Yeah, to my knowledge, the only one that you get as a gift, anything like that, is the energy shield one. I might be forgetting something, but that's the only one that I know of. Yeah, that seems thematically appropriate, though. You keep your rifle away from me. Anyone that uses a rifle in this run is going to be a huge threat. Because this thing, despite being pretty much decked out for shelf defense, has no stability whatsoever to it. So a couple rifle shots will just kill it. At least there's a lot of red zone in the generator, I guess. Silver linings and all that. And that seems like an effective strategy for tanks. I think this is what I did last time. Just zigzags and missiles for anything tanky. At least literal tanky, not just tough. Then humanoid ones would be a problem. Alright, Fixer. We go to the reservoir. So I was recommended to try a ground torpedo run, which same thing as with orbit pods. Mainly the reason I haven't really figured out a viable way to do those yet. I don't know if orbit pods or the torpedoes actually do any physical damage. I would assume the ground torpedoes do, but I don't know if that works for objectives. Like I would think if I could lure, like for example, thinking the destroy computer one, thinking maybe I could lure one of those little dinky machine gun guys into the computer room and on the opposite end and fire the pods. So if it was something like that, that'd be viable. That's just kind of all theoretical at this point. Also, I'm amazed this guy actually gave me trouble so many times. And anyway, the reason I brought it up, actually this right here is one of the main reasons why I think that run would be super awkward. Like, how often his weapons will completely fail because of the water. Yeah, if you fight him in the arena, his friggin' torpedoes are gonna suck, but here, since the water has a slight bit of actual collision, it's got a very good chance to just dud out. And the same thing will happen with any place that has a ground texture. Like anything above the ground, I mean. I guess I should phrase it not ground texture, but any texture above the ground anyway. They can go wrong in so many ways. That's why multi-missiles were amazing in FA, but not so much in this. Like, right there. Two of his missiles just didn't even bother to spawn in, two of them just immediately splashed in the water. And his damage output from him is actually low enough now that I can pretty much just do this. So this run would be a lot more difficult if the starter core didn't have a built-in anti-missile thing. Get your pistol crap away from me. Let's fix her done. Ooh, advancement awards. Neat. Can't use them. I don't think I can even do this one, because I would have to fly up and shoot at the thing. Yeah, missiles shouldn't have enough range, so no, it'd be impossible. Alright, for a consort, you know what? Every time that there's gonna be an opportunity to hire this guy, I will. You know what? You get a double starter. And your fellow starter AC guy. He actually does this challenge by default because he only upgrades his AC. You know what? I don't know if he even does it outside the arena. He might in one mission really late into the game, but I know as far as like even when you attack Avalon Hill, he's still in his starter AC. Get that completely wrong. Thanks for shooting me, you dick. This was the one time I didn't kill you in the intro. Yeah, he's still available if you kill him off in the intro, too. I don't know what happens. Presumably they just kind of like feel bad and let him in. Then again, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he just goes rogue. Maybe I'm remembering it completely wrong and he doesn't actually show up. I don't know, my memory's garbage. Maybe all the excessive amounts of coffee. Who knows? Elevator music is great, though. It's another one of those themes I absolutely love. I'm trying to. Dang it. Doing a real sucky job on the blading. It always sounds wrong, and I know it really shouldn't. Just listen to the funky music for a little bit. Did not do a good job in this cup of coffee. Good, but not that good. I think I'm gonna skip ending the employee rebellion for once. Let them do their thing. Right, same exact guy. There's barely a point in dodging, because I don't think there's enough damage throughout this entire friggin' map to actually blow this AC up. Get the optional part, feel a little bit bad about it, but I'm never gonna use it. I keep wanting to do these jump cuts, but not working out. you guys care about the survey? I mean, things considered, code inspections in the future must suck. Yeah, I was a little bit worried that was going to hit them there for a sec.
Thanks for the help.
Again, it never made sense to me whether these were guys from Union or something, or you know, if they were just kind of down here and had some code inspection coming up and knew that they were going to fail, so they needed to take out the survey team, which doesn't really mesh. You know, that they're gone. Maybe they just live there? I don't know. One.
I've got a raven on my tail. Help!
And as per usual, just makes more sense to go right to the very end, because then you don't have to chase the other guy, or at least if you do have to chase him, he's gonna be right there. That'll do. Okay, fake 9-ball. Which way is this guy gonna be? Conspirator. That's conspirator, but just want to call him conspirator. Looks like. Oh crap. No, I really do like these starter missiles. The whole quick fire thing is really nice. No, I really don't get the design. Like, just looking at these things, okay? Why is this way? If they're all just, like, going down, for example, like, okay, there's 40 of them, assuming, let's say that opening, let's say, covers what would be the size of 2 of those missiles, right? So, they're just kind of expanding out to the sides. Why do they need that extra little bit in the back? Is that just for some kind of moving mechanism, or what? And why is there, like, a little venting hole in the bottom? It was looking weird to me. I'm sure they had some good reason for it, they usually do. Alright, we're not going to blow up the bridge this time. Gonna try to be a nice little starter.
Foothold.
Might as well go save the water. Part we're never gonna use. These helicopter pilots live, because... oh, I don't know. They have to land eventually. I'm sure somebody else will get them. It was a little bit worrying that crazy friggin' terrorists or whatever have a bunch of helicopters and kind next to their disposal, but whatever. Only here to push a bunch of buttons and
Gate 6.
I'll go pick up some poison canister thing. I heard it mentioned that they were planning to do a little RoboCop thing. It got me thinking, with all these weird interactions throughout the entire series, if they just kind of interfacing with these like different buttons and bombs and items and whatever else the same way, but they just have like a little spike that comes out of that little core spike thingy. Just plugging their core in there. I don't actually know when the different ones came out. I want to say RoboCop came first. But I kind of wonder if that's why the activation thing is always left arm. I'm kind of weirdly sympathetic to this starter rifle. Far from great, and I think there was... like, as far as starter rifles go in the series, it's really not bad. Hard to complain about before, but at least it's no AC1 starter rifle with that slow fire rate. I actually never noticed this until somebody pointed it out to me. It's the only thing in AC1 that has an actual recoil when it fires. Like, aside from the grenade launcher. How'd that happen? You just forget to implement it or something? Maybe it just didn't work right with making the fire rate slower, and maybe turn machine guns into weird pistols or something. Turn them into AC5 machine guns. Okay, well, between the two of them, I guess getting rid of the squatters might be a slightly less dubious option than blowing up the bridge. I think it's possible to avoid it. I don't want to blow up the bridge. We're here to, you know, build up infrastructure, not tear it down. I'm trying to be a good guy. So yeah, if they end up going back to these kinds of routes for AC6, I'm hoping, and like, if they end up doing a remake for whatever reason, I'm hoping they include this too. But I've always wanted to play these games as a friggin' MT or just generic enemy. And I've tried, like, I've built ACs with deliberately low HP, AP. And really the only other idea I had was maybe doing a thing where I try and overheat the AC to a specific amount of AP, like roughly equal to whatever AC they're supposed, or MT they're supposed to emulate. It's kind of an idea for the future. It's a little bit of a time sink, but I've always wanted that kind of mode in this. Especially the shoddy MT, definitely seemed viable. I mean, those little machine gun cones, obviously not. They would die within a few seconds, and they don't really have the means to move around to avoid that damage. But, the, like, little, skate-looking thing, I think one of them is even called Skate. That's definitely viable. Yeah, parry blade ones are pretty good. The ones that show up in the sound line. Yeah, I just think it's a fun little challenge. Because every time I've tried it, what I wound up with is that AC just had too much AP to it. Simply wound up being a normal challenge. Or not even a normal run, not even a challenge for that matter. And especially with having missiles on there. Like, I was thinking if the AP drops to a certain number to just quit, but that seems really lame. I'd rather just remove it through overboosting or something beforehand. I mean, when I tried it last time, specifically I was doing the missile and shoddy one, I just kind of assumed he was like god of the MTs or something. He's their patron deity, and then I ended up switching him over to the burst rifle in SL. Just because it seemed a lot more garbage, and I wanted an actual challenge in there. And then it still wound up not really being one. Small missiles were still a thing. But hey, Trafalgar. It's for later. Yes, where are you? I want to cut you again. That sounds kind of really psychotic. Oh well. But yeah, it's not as 1v1 fight, it's always this fight with, what's his face? Fanfare. Problem. I don't want to blow up their bridge. I was thinking to do like a no failure clause on this too. Like normally I really don't care if there's a failure or two on the inconsequential ones. I mean, I'll try it. If it ends up being something like the only one available is the organisms or whatever, I'm fine with skipping that one. Okay, this one on the other side. Alright, must have been a weird marker. Honestly, I didn't see that situation coming up. But if it does, whatever. Crossback. I'm pretty sure no failures is the only way I'll end up getting A rank on this anyway. I know it's 2, sometimes 3 failures, depending on how many lower ranks you get. Oh, these scenes right here got me wondering a few times. Like, you see in FA and BD sometimes have that thing where you kind of have that approach to the mission area, and then everyone notices you when you're closer. But in this one, like, you just kind of show up and they tell you that you're located. I wonder if there was a planned expansion on that at some point. Like you were supposed to do a walk up or whatever.
AC crossback.
That's nice. What you mean to say is pile of crap identified. And yeah, as soon as this runs into a bit of a stall, I was going to go and do a crossback one on the side of this. Just kind of a palette cleanser, provided I have time. Considering I'm pretty much just waiting for news today, is likely. How are you still alive? I thought I blew. Realistically, I do actually like the starter AC more than I do crossback. He's just kind of the completely and absolutely screwed underdog for this game, and frankly, I just find that idea hilariously appealing. For a run, anyway. Like, I always love when there's just characters that are so bad that you know, you gotta see if they actually would have made it if they won that boss fight somehow. Well, my original file for doing a run as him was a pinwheel crossback, or a pinback crosswheel. The pinback for the pilot, crosswheel for the AC. Because I assumed, what's his face, Pinwheel from Dark Souls got himself free of his little cave there and decided to go become an AC pilot and was about as threatening. Yeah, I wonder every time why he built himself that way.
What's going on here?
Like, on paper, it's not the worst, but it's mostly just because his offense comes from his core more than anything else. His mines, they can be good, but especially for higher end arena fights, ridiculous to actually land those things. I think I'm gonna do this one for. Oh. No, I don't think I have the range for this. One is going to be falling under the no failures clause. This one is technically possible. It's going to be a little bit difficult because firepower. So it's 2 missiles for each of these, so I believe there's about 30 of them around there. So what happened to all your guys' security that was here earlier? Like every time before and after this, when you come over to this place, friggin' security all over the place. We can back out of this fight for a minute. If I start overheating all over the place, there's not going to be a second half of this mission. Come on, Radiator, you can do it. I'm not really doing great dodges on these missiles, but curving energy more than AP really. Wanted to blade him, but he did not want to cooperate with that. That guy just hit himself with his own missile? Yeah, I'm hoping these are the last 3. Because I'm not seeing any more targets showing up. couple of you just, stay behind. Maybe evacuate later, after this is all dealt with. Despite doing this a ton of times, I still don't know the spawning rules.
The evacuation is complete. Thanks for your help.
Now, my theory is when they were remaking this, the reason that they changed the requirements on this mission, because I would say that it was because of the kind of backwards nature of why would you go back and keep trying until you got everybody? S-rank it without getting everybody, I'm pretty sure. But my theory on it is just, like, okay, the situation here is some AC came in and stole some stuff. So presumably the entire facility was being attacked, they stole some stuff, and they were trying to evacuate their guys, and they thought their security would have handled everything else, and their security gets overrun, so why the hell would they go and wait to, have to hire somebody to, go in and take care of it? They probably wouldn't, they would rather somebody they know end up going and taking the thing, or possibly risk blowing it up, than just simply allowing some guy to get away. Because it always seems like there's more thought than you'd think behind a lot of these missions. This is from for you. I always seem to go above and beyond. And I'm not gonna avoid all the little MTs on the way this time. Makes more sense for me to shoot them down. Just because of how slow I'm moving. And they'll end up getting more shots off. I'd rather not have that. Maybe ignore that guy because I don't want to go back for him. Alright, Chuckles. Yeah, that's right. Like, scratch that wall a little bit. What are you gonna do about it? I have no idea how wrong you are. Thankfully, he can't aim worth a crap, so no worries. He can't aim, plus his arms can't aim, and his computer is more or less irrelevant. I'm pretty sure he doesn't use his chain guns. But this all winds up to a pretty happy time, plus the fact that he's at like half AP. Somehow I magically got all my stuff back upon entering this area. Oh wait, there he goes using his chain gun, never mind. I think he's just usually dead by this point. I'm just hoping to run him as much out of ammo as I can. Use these missiles for the time being. Actually, screw him. Might have to duck into the hallway for a little bit of a breather here. As much as I want to go for a blade here, I don't really have the energy to do it. It kind of makes me wonder, with the Nexus and onwards starter core, I kind of wonder if they changed it for energy reasons. Because it always seemed like those ones had a little bit more energy to it, and I'm pretty sure that one is lighter and more efficient, generally speaking. And change the text, you weren't just pointing. I wonder, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and pick them up out of the arena later. Should have thought of that. But no, so I kind of wonder if that was the reason, because this thing is weirdly, you know, heavy and energy intensive for, it's not the worst on energy for sure. Like, it's alright, but like weight-wise and everything else, it does seem heavier than the rest of the parts can support. I wonder if that was the logic there. I thought for a good while, it seems like this is a little bit off, maybe we should change it. It'd be nice if they had a Q&A segment for that kind of stuff. You know, live in their cave or wherever where nobody ever talks to them, so there's that. Other than the Dark Souls guy, Miyazaki, I don't really know of anybody that's gone and, you know, done conferences or whatever. I don't think if it was that the guy that was giving all the talks for FA when it was coming out? I would think so. He's usually the guy that does that kind of stuff, I would figure. His company seems so freaking secretive. I think they'd be a little bit more willing to advertise the stuff they're working on. But maybe they're worried about somebody copying ideas. Although with few exceptions, that hasn't been able to be done. Like, even with the Souls formula, the only time that I've seen it actually done right and outright, all of them have been indie stuff. There hasn't... No, the, All Lords or whatever the hell it was called. That was close, people told me, but it was still... Like, it still stunk of AAA as soon as you saw it. Yeah, you can smell the pretension. Pretty much reeks like a dirty shoe. Thankfully, it's going to be a pretty decent amount of time until this thing's flimsiness becomes apparent. It's acceptable shell defense and all that is enough to make most stuff doable. Honestly, until you get anything that staggers, anything that uses energy, or anything that is above a machine gun damage-wise, it's pretty decent. Like, it'll overheat like crazy from pretty much anything, so there's that. Actually, that's probably the biggest contributing factor of its flimsiness. The fact that it gets hit once and suddenly it's about 8 times as damaging because the thing is bleeding out. And I really cannot overstate how much I love that mechanic. Like, having friggin' overheating as a bleed out mechanic. It's just brilliant. Whoever came up with it. Not really a fan of how they did it later on. Just because it really wasn't satisfying. Like, in this case, it was, you would just be fighting somebody and itchy nose. Hilariously enough, I think that actually is somebody's name in the development staff. But no, like in this, you're fighting somebody and you're suddenly doing really well, and they just go into that whole bleed out thing, and their energy starts being slow to come back, and yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's not really perfectly realistic, but come on, we're fighting giant friggin' robots here. But That whole thing where you start, like, actively draining away all of your energy and all that, and then just combusting at the seams from just moving. It seems like it would be enough of a thing to just make all of the technology completely uninteresting to anyone. Like, if you were building your giant, you know, building an entire industry of friggin' death machines or whatever, you'd think you'd fix the basic flaw of the thing melting itself when it moved. Which they did. These earlier ones. I was saying the other day, the only theory I can think of is maybe... You know, maybe they just sort of had an issue where they had a particular element that they needed for insulation that, you know, got overrun by all the friggin' death bots after Nexus. And doesn't really explain what happened in Nexus, but whatever. Maybe it was that mine. All of that element stopped happening, and all the insulation went to crap, and yeah. And that mine that you're going and getting all the death bots out of near the end of and Nexus is the one that was needed to fix all the boosters. In speed theory. It's not a good one, but speed theory. Makes about as much sense as the friggin' wooden AC, which I still want to see happen. I want to say there were two of them, but I could only find one when I went back and looked. I haven't looked back in my old MLA save file to see if I could find that again. I'm sure there was like a brother of his or something. Oh crap. Alright. Awkwardly try to Goomba stomp you, I guess. I seriously just flank you while charging here. Alright, that didn't work out well for me, admittedly, but you know what? I'm alive again. Still got AP. I have to dodge really straightforward to dodge those missiles. Although I'm grateful for how inaccurate they are in this one. Like I was saying, I was playing Formula Front lately, and the vertical missiles in that are just painful to dodge. I think it's because they all became... Somebody told me that they use silo line mechanics for it. And yeah, those were pretty painful to dodge, especially the warhead missiles. Come on, pull out a win here. Working but victorious. I'll take it. And that's not even Cyprus. For Cyprus, I have a feeling I'm gonna have to pull a desert cheese on that one. What I mean by that, there's a particular rock in the desert that's kind of close to the edge of the border. And, basically if you like, bunny hop around that thing, you can basically run him out of ammo. That doesn't really win the fight by any means, because he's still crazy deadly with his blade, and it takes forever. His two chain guns. For your two chains joke here. Go ahead and dodge straight into your missiles, that's all part of my strategy. And eat your punches with my face, you know. Wrong is a joke. But no, so you can run him out of ammo there. Like, it's not consistent, but it's doable. I've used it for Kaiser and for Cypress mostly. I've had it work once for Exile, but I don't want to do that again. Honestly, with this build, I'm pretty much dead if this gets to Exile, then it's pretty much dead anyway if he gets close. I'd probably just go into the parking garage and just run out of ammo running away. Tank a few shots here and there. Pretty much any place that he can get stuck on, you can do it that way. As well, the MG1000 is amazing. A lot of its damage does come from overheat. It's pretty clinky otherwise. And especially with the scatter shot on it, you can really dodge it well at long range. I have a feeling I've eaten way too many missiles here. I shouldn't have done that. I have to stay at closer range. No, keep firing. Only got a few left, so. The rest are floating mines, which... Crap, no. Nope. Away from me. Oh yeah, floating mine run, by the way. That's fun. I'm looking more at his weapon selection than actually looking at the terrain right now. Crappy heat buildup. Yeah, I want to say they buffed the heat build later on. I'm really not sure why he's trying to hit me with his mines instead of his missiles. There's one burst of his missiles and I'm toast. And he's got, if he's firing the way he's been firing, he's got 3 shots in it. Too close. And I have no lock on him. Keep doing what you're doing, bud. He blew up that car for a second there. I thought I had gotten him. Guarantee you one of these times I'm gonna have my back turned, he's gonna switch over to his missiles, just hit me in the back, and that's it. I don't want to turn my back to him, but I can't turn fast enough to not do that. Why are you programmed to do this? That makes no sense. It is a weird decision. Maybe he was feeling merciful. Hard Edge isn't too bad. He overheats a lot. He usually overheats himself. And his gun isn't threatening. And he's got no armor to speak of. So that machine gun is why I say that crossback is actually worse than the starter AC. Because it's, you burn through it, like, it's barely got, it doesn't even have twice as much ammunition. Fires much faster, and I think it does like 1/3 of the damage. barely does any heat damage to speak of whatsoever. So between it and the EO, like, can sort of clink something a few times, and then after that you just bubble. Pitch that, pitch that. Dang, we don't need to be getting bladed here. Like right there, I have the worst heat setup you can possibly have. That giant burst there did nothing. This is already after taking a couple missiles. Kind of thinking to spruce this AC up a little bit. Need some better colors. Let's do Wasteland for you. Figure the terrain up and down will have him use his rifle more often. And just keep at a distance, run him out of ammo. That kind of thing. Hopefully the missiles will be enough to do him in. Doesn't really dodge a lot. And as his name implies, he's pretty fragile. A little close to the edge here. One very possible combo from this guy. Just like getting hit in the rifle in the air, falling to the ground, getting hit again, and a couple more times, and then he switches over to the pulse cannon, and then half your AP is gone. I ran into that tonight, stud. Now, personally, I think this is the kind of stuff that I was lacking. It wasn't even the mechanics or story or whatever else, it's... Honestly, this setting was kind of bland. Everything was either, you know, small facilities, small maps, small deserts, running out of bounds. Like, I remember being scared of the Evangel fight, not so much because he would actually win, but because I would walk 3 feet the wrong direction in the friggin' desert, and suddenly I get deleted. Okay, you sent us out to the desert. It's a gigantic open space. And you decided, no, like half a mile maybe? Not even that, maybe like a quarter of a mile. So you can actually move around in. They needed bigger boundaries. I would think with bigger boundaries, you know, maybe a desert map that wasn't boring as crap, it would have been more interesting. Some better versus maps. I mean, there were some pretty cool ones, but for some reason most of them weren't available against the AI. Most of the cool ones, though. Or quite a few maps. Definitely could have used more arena opponents. And just in general, like when you're kind of in that post-game messing around phase, it was fun to mess around with builds that had an amazing amount of parts, that really tightened up the balance ammo-wise and accuracy-wise and all that. It was nice to see all those changes, but then, you know, there wasn't really that much to do with them. Like, you could go through the game multiple times, but you still would eventually have to adjust your build for being able to actually carry it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked it. would say 100% of it, but it was like 141% or whatever. And all the parts, got into first person view and all that, and messed around in first person, and kind of made a little roguelike thing for a while where I would just pretty much randomize a build. Not randomize in the same way that the gun guy was doing it. I mean, like, I would just go and, like, close my eyes, cycle through the weapons, slap something on there, and then pretty much put a frame to it. And then we'd just go and, you know, first death, that one's out and replaced with something else. But it was fun. Like, it was fun for that. But then it got to the same thing of every single time. There's power plants. The part where it branches off into the different options for the power plant. Hated it. So freaking dull. Like, I do not want to be in this power plant. Like anything else. I mean, like 8 pulverizers at once or something. Like, literally anything but the freaking power plant. So 16 now. And that was the problem. Like, so many of the maps were reused, but the power plant is the least deserving. Like, it's cool that it was a facility and they redid it, and, you know, a couple of instances of it were interesting, like the one where you fight outside and then you have to fight inside, and the one where you have to go shut stuff off. Yeah. In general, I did not have much fun with the mid-game of it. Beginning and end, yes. But it's just those mid-game ones that really made me despise it every time. A lot of stuff that can hurt me. More or less. He's only got 19 shots of that howitzer. He hit me at exactly the wrong time. That's fine. There's some awkward hops. Alright, this one's in the bag. But yeah, so if LR had had a crazy huge arena or something, I probably would have loved it. Like something that would allow for doing runs, you know? Like an arena, maybe slightly easier on the mid-game. Like, I was fine with the, you know, sudden spikes in difficulty, but yeah. Like, okay, even bolts at the beginning of there, I'm pretty okay with, because it's like, okay, this is just like pretty tough AC. Fight him right at the start. Still kind of a cool idea, as somebody called it, nuke pressure. But the reason I didn't like the power plant over and over is because you were forced to take damage in a small hallway. And especially the one where it's overheating you the whole time. So a lot of builds would just die there because they didn't have enough AP, and that was it. No chance, no anything, just you are dead because you built wrong. And yeah, it is a series about, you know, doing your builds right and all that. But it would have been cool to see some variety. Alright. Blazing. I'm gonna do Wasteland because it should mess up some of his rocket aiming. And then after this, have to take a break for a little while. And we're done. Sort of. Like, be a dad for several hours. Everyone's all happy. Pretty sure they will want to eat anytime soon, right? This is going a lot better than I expected. Nice for him to overheat, but this map's pretty great at keeping him at a distance. But while in a lot of them, they sometimes are missing AI for not crossing the border and losing immediately. In this one, they're pretty good about avoiding that corner. And it's funny because it's actually the same thing in LR with that Desert Vandal fight I mentioned with there's pretty much no space on the map. But if you hang out in the corner and you need to keep him at like mid-range, which granted is strong suit, but in a lot of cases it's the easiest way to dodge his rifle. So if you stay there, like apparently he also does not want to cross the border, which is odd because it doesn't actually affect him. Like if he were to cross it, I'm pretty sure that he's just fine because that happens a few times with other enemies. But again, it's that weird logic there that he's supposed to avoid that border. We're going way better. Not much you can do anymore, guy. Yep, roast yourself. Good job. And roast yourself some more. Well, that's fine. You lengthen that bleed out timer. Although, granted, in this case, timer. Blazin has seen the situation and developed suicidal tendencies. Sorry, guy. No, stuff wasn't going great for you before, but well, it's avoidable. I'll try not to kill you off later. That'll be that for now.